everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely, whether it's $400 or $9 or anywhere in between. I review all those wines to help you see if it's worth the money. I'm talking about Tempranillo today. Tempranillo is the workhorse of Spain, especially Rioja and Ribera del Duero in Spain. Those are the key areas that they grow Tempranillo. Really cool grape. They have found now in Washington State that it does quite well here. I know Longship Cellars, my winery of the year a couple of years back, they do a pretty good Tempranillo. Tempranillo is not a high acid grape, not a high tannin grape. It likes diurnal shift, a big diurnal shift, so hot in the day and cool at night. Helps Tempranillo. And you know, you have Rioja, which has three basic areas in it: Rioja Alta, Rioja Alavesa, and Rioja Oriental, which used to be Rioja Baja. Now, most of the Rioja wine, not most, but a lot of the Rioja wines do not put the designation of where they were actually sourced from. But if they're specifically sourced from those areas, it will say Rioja Alta, Rioja Alavesa, Rioja, probably say Baja still on some of the labels. We're going to look at two from Rioja and one from Valencia on the east coast of Spain. But Tempranillo is it has really also gotten a foothold in Argentina and in Australia. But I think Washington does a really good job with Tempranillo, mainly because we do have a very large diurnal shift from heat in the day, cool at night. So let's get started right off the bat with the Vina Hermina Tempranillo 2015. This is from Rioja. That's all it says. So, a lot of times they will say, well, we'll get into it on the next one. Okay, let's not jump ahead of ourselves here. So this just says Rioja. It could be a joven, which means young. Actually, the name Tempranillo in Spain means little early one because it actually ripens earlier than Grenache, the other workhorse of Spain, Garnacha. Let's see what we get on the nose. You get a little currant and strawberry action with a little hit of licorice. Also get some baked earth, which I like. And there's like a red fruit element coming through, but I just can't put my finger on what it is. Pretty good color. Fairly dark. Almost like a ruby. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. There's a perfumed element coming through as well. And some tobacco. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is a fruity little, you know, the currants are lively. Tobacco comes through on the backside. Nice, just nice, consistent, very fruity little Tempranillo. A lot of people would like this wine. Great pizza wine, great burger wine. It's be good with lamb as well. There's 14% alcohol. $10, I forgot to mention that, and hopefully I show you the label. Yeah, Stan, you've only been doing this a little while. Just a little bit. You can get a little blueberry, interesting, tobacco, nice flow across the palate, light tannins, good flavors. I mean, this is like I said, a little fruity wine. I would doubt if this has any oak on it. They use oak a lot in Spain. They like to use American oak in Rioja. In Britain, they call it Rioja. And they like to use French oak in Ribera del Duero. We don't have a Ribera del Duero here. But now they've kind of gravitated towards French in Rioja. And so you kind of get this, agreement between the two areas. You know, it used to be that, You know, they're kind of spicier, fruitier in Ribera del Duero, a little bit more. You get that kind of coconut dill thing going on in Rioja. But I like this wine. Just really, really tasty. For lack of a better phrase, this is delicious. I like the tobacco notes. A little strawberry coming through as well. It's said that Tempranillo doesn't really have a specific flavor profile. Like Cab, a lot of times it's usually currants. Syrah will be blueberry, that sort of area. But Tempranillo can go all over the place. And it's mostly because of the different types of oaks that they use between Rioja and Ribera del Duero. And the winemaking methods, all of that factor in. Whether it's Joven, Creonza, Reserva, Gran Reserva, that all has an element to it as well. This is a little delicious hamburger pizza wine, $10. I mean, I would go out and buy this anytime and really enjoy it. I'm going to go B, straight up B. I think it's a B wine. It is solid. It is above average. A lot of people, you guys will like this wine. It kind of crosses between old world palate and new world palate, in my opinion. Yeah. Has a nice little red flower hit on the backside as well, which I really like. Yeah, B. Solid B wine for $10. Good start, by the way. Been a little bit rough. This is the 2016 Marqués de la Concordia Federico Paternina Rioja Banda Azul Creonza. We'll talk a little bit about that. This rolls in at $15. Cool label on this. So, Creonza, what does that mean? Well, you know, we use Reserva a lot in the U.S. They use it in South America. It really doesn't have any... I mean, I'm sure some wineries, you know, they use their best grapes, they call it Reserva. But in Spain, it really does mean something. Creonza means it's been in barrel 1 year, aged 1 year, released. Reserva means barrel 1 year, bottle 2 years, then released. Gran Reserva means barrel 2 years, or 24 months, aged 3 years in bottle, and then released. So 5 years before it, from production, from picking and fermenting to release. It means something in Spain. It means something in Italy. But, you know, it's abused here a little bit. Just saying, it is. You see Reserva, you think, oh, this is going to be special. It's not necessarily true. There's no specific rules about how to use those terms in the U.S. or in South America. They just use them, you know. Now, I will admit that, you know, like I said, there are some wineries that obviously use it, and they have some meaning behind it. Could be their best grapes, that sort of thing. Not downplaying that, but in Spain, they take those terms very seriously. So this is a Creonza. You get a little dill pickle on the nose. A little cinnamon, which I like. The nose on this is really cool. A little currants coming through as well. See, I'm passing my COVID test. I can still smell these wines. I love doing this. Every time a salesman comes to my office, I say, hey, thanks for the COVID test. I can still smell. That is one thing that COVID takes away, is your sense of smell and taste, I guess. Not downplaying it, but, you know. A bit of wood on the nose. I can smell the wood. And a little licorice as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. This has a nice little bright hue to it. Red coming through big time. See that? Oh, you know what would be helpful? You guys are going, how come he's so dark? Because Stan forgot to turn on the lights. Sorry about that, guys. That's all right. I'm gonna leave it as it is. It's real. There I am. There you go. Wow. Well, this light up here is pretty bright. I can't even look at it, but. So I get a little coconut, dill, red flowers, tobacco. Nice, almost like a cranberry-esque thing. But I like the red flowers. This is lighter. The acidity is there. It's, you know, because with the diurnal shift, I forgot to talk about that a little bit. You have the warm days, and the cool evenings help maintain the acidity. Since the grape itself is not highly acidic, it's nice to maintain what acid it does have. This again is a beauty. I like this wine. Tobacco notes hit kind of hard on in the mid palate, and then they soften up a little bit on the backside, where you get that little kind of tiny hit of cranberry, little red flower. Nice mouth-watering feel on the backside. Long finish. Has a little more complexity than this one. It's $5 more. Yeah, roughly $5 more. This is 50, yeah, $5 more. Duh. This has a little bit of that kind of worn saddle thing, which I like about Rioja sometimes. I love that. This is a great food wine. I'd have this with barbecue chicken, lamb for sure, pizza, hamburgers, like I said, just a great food wine. This was a good food wine. This is a good, better food wine. I'm going to go B+. Like that one a lot. Get that kind of old world funk on the back end. Yeah, probably not for everybody, but I think this is a nice segue wine. You know, nice segue wine for you guys that are, you know, all into the New World stuff, the fruity stuff. This might be a good one to go to just to see what Spain is offering. Now, we're going to move on to the finding the vintage can be fun. 2010. Okay, this is an older wine. Torreria Gran Reserva. This is, oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention, I believe this is 100% Tempranillo. I forgot to mention this has a little bit of has 15% Garnacha in this one, as well as 85% Tempranillo. So a little bit of a blend there. Now remember, in the U.S. you can go 75% one wine. You can call it 75% Cab. You can call it a Cab. Well, this has 85% Tempranillo. Now this one has 70 Tempranillo, 30% Cab. So you couldn't call it a Tempranillo in the U.S., but this is predominantly Tempranillo with a little bit of Cab thrown in there. Gran Reserva Torreria. This rolls in at $13. $13. It has a little wire thing around it. I kind of butchered it when I uncorked it. All right. So this is from Valencia on the east coast, down below Barcelona. They go up into the mountain range up there a little bit. The vineyards do. So the thing about Tempranillo, if you do it in just a kind of flat area, you don't have any elevation, it can get kind of placid. Not really interesting. Tempranillo can go that direction, so you have to be careful with Tempranillo. But anyway, this is from Valencia. See what we get on those. So it's a Gran Reserva, which means it was in barrel for 24 months, in the bottle for 3 years, and then released. So it's a 2010, wasn't released until 2015. I found this in my cellar, so I'm really curious to try this. And then I started looking even deeper, and man, do I have a lot of Riojas in my cellar. They do age well. Even the inexpensive ones will age well. So it's kind of a pencil lead thing going on. Pencil lead on this. So I see a little brown on the rim there, which means it gives it the older. You know it's a little bit older when you start seeing a little bit of brown on the edge. But definitely pencil lead, which is a very common in Bordeaux. Barbecue spices. I mean, it's like somebody, you know those pencil sharpeners that they have, kind of somebody dumped that out into a little bit of barbecue, threw a little barbecue spice on there. A little bit of meat with this one too, roasted meat. The fruit is not prominent, but I would say currants. Currants for sure. Yeah. Let's see what we get on the palate. Wow. Now this is really cool. This is very cool. So this is a 2010. I can't tell if that's 13 or... that's 13 bucks. $13. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of a Bordeaux, even though it's not even close to any of the grapes of Bordeaux. But you got the kind of pencil-lead thing going on, a little bit of currants. There's a sweetness to this on the back side that comes through very well. Little saddle action, barbecue spices, really fresh on the finish. I'd be very happy with this one. It's a 2010. I don't even know how long I've had it in my cellar. I have to go through it every once in a while and look and say, well, I've got these ones. I want to do a Rioja, Tempranillo. I want to talk about Tempranillo. So let's pull this one out. It has some cabinet. That's probably what's giving it that Bordeaux-like thing, that pencil-lead thing. Because the cab would definitely be, obviously take over the Tempranillo if they use more than 30%. They only use 30%. Adds a nice dimension to this wine. This has good complexity. Yeah, it gets a nice sweetness on the mid palate into the finish. God, this would be a fun wine to share with some people. I wish I had the group over here. That doesn't happen very often these days. It will. It'll come back. We'll be there again, guys. We know we will. Nice and fresh, balanced, currants, leather, pencil lead, barbecue spices, a little sweetness on the back side of this one. Yeah, I'm liking it. I'm going to go B on this one. I think it's a seriously good wine. 2010. Isn't that crazy? So it was released 5 years ago. Now I'm drinking it now, and it's still fantastic. I have another one. I believe I have another one in the back room. It won't be back there long. I need to take this. This is ready to go. B1. So, there's a little bit about Tempranillo. Hope you learned something. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I really appreciate it. I always have a hard time with this one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and tell your friends about this channel. This is fun, interesting, nice reviews. Hopefully I'm helping you spend your wine dollars wisely. You keep watching, and I will keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.